Birthdays, weddings, graduations, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Denim Day? Look it up. Heck, finally inviting friends over for cocktails. There are a lot of spring occasions that you'll be celebrating. So why not celebrate with the gift of beer, wine, and spirits delivered in under 60 minutes with Drizzly? You're right, it's flawless logic. I've been using Drizzly now for the last couple of months. I love the convenience, and my favorite part is I put in my favorite wine or tequila, and Drizzly finds all the stores that carry them and compares prices. It's literally my go-to in a pinch. Well, right now, Drizzly is giving all new customers $5 off their first order with the code SPRING5. Just download the Drizzly app or go to drizzly.com. That's DRIZLY.com and use promo code SPRING5. That's spring with the number 5 for $5 off your first order. Hey, what is going on? You are watching and listening to Tags Live, aka Talk About Gay Sex, the live edition. And I'm your host, Steve V. Stevie, if you want to shorten it up.
If you're nasty.
If you're nasty. This is episode 364, and that giggler that you just heard, Butch Queen, is Kodi Maurice Doggette. I love the shirt, Kodi.
Thank you, darling. Hello, darling. How are you this evening?
I'm good. I'm feeling happy. It's Wednesday. I was cooking up a storm a minute ago, and my apartment was permeating with smoke. It's like a jambalaya thing I was making.
I love
But
jambalaya.
I have this problem where my mom and I laugh at it, where if it calls for a little spice, I put 3 times the amount of spice in because
That's
I'm
how we
spicy
like
like
it.
that.
That's what
But
we
I
like.
gotta watch it because I tend to overdo it, and it's a problem. It's a problem, but it's good.
Sounds like good to me. Okay.
All right. Well, we are on our vocal from Get Vocal. We've moved over to Vocal. So hopefully some of you will find us over here, our brand new home, which has a few more bells and whistles. We are live every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock Eastern time. And the one thing I want to remind people on this episode, as I was talking about on episode 363, because we do 2 shows a week, is to go see the film, if you're in New York or LA, of Jonathan Agassi, Saved My Life. It's a documentary. And on this week's episode 363, I interview the director, who I'm going to meet this weekend on Sunday. I'm really excited to meet him. Flying all the way from Israel to do talk backs about his film. And I'm really excited to meet him. But listen to the episode. This is a really powerful documentary. It opens this week here in New York on May 12th, plays all weekend and into next week here in New York. And then it moves to LA on May 20th at the Lemley's Glendale. And it's such a roller coaster ride of a film, very powerful, sexy, everything you want in a documentary about somebody in our community, Jonathan Agassi, porn star, and it follows 8 years of his life, and it's riveting. So
I can't wait to see it.
I highly recommend it. Yeah, I will be there and hopefully take some pictures and get to talk to director Tomer Heyman. So I'm excited about that this Sunday.
Good.
So let me know if you're around, Kodi, and perhaps we have an after show that we already recorded coming out this Friday for our Patreon members, and we got juicy. I talked about when I was a guest on Jack Tracy, who's been on our show, who has a show. What's the name of his show, Kodi?
Dying Alone Together. Oh, I had to search the recesses of this memory.
Yeah, such a dark title. What does that mean, even? Dying Alone Together. The dichotomy of that.
I mean, we're all dying. We're marching through life and towards death. We might as well.
But we don't have to talk about it together. I'm going to be an upcoming guest on their show, and I'm excited about that. So we talked about my experience on that, as well as a lot of things. You guys can get our after show. It's out this Friday. We do 2 a month, and you can help support Tags Podcast simply by grabbing a tier over on our Patreon page at the twink category and above, and it's patreon.com/TAGSPodcast. Actually, maybe Kodi, you could put that in our banner section if you wouldn't mind, if you can figure it out while I go on to the next topic. If not, no worries. We're new to this home.
Okay,
Don't
all
worry
right.
about it, Kodi,
I
because
might explode.
we have got to talk. We've got a lot to cover on this episode, starting with Jessie Williams.
Yes.
We have to talk about it. And as I was talking about on Instagram Live, every talk show has been talking about it, but it fits our show the best to talk about this because it is about Jessie Williams is on Broadway right now in the Broadway hit Take Me Out. And it's about, I saw the original production when it first came out several years ago. It's a really good show about a baseball player and follows him. He's a multiracial baseball player who's struggling to coming out in, as you can imagine, how difficult it might be in Americana sport as baseball. He's multiracial. So it's really, it really fits into the trajectory of our landscape today. And even though it was written several years ago, still is well worth seeing. But Jessie Williams, if you don't already know, if you're living under a rock, is somebody posted him naked because there's a shower scene that fits into the storyline of the show. And I love our Discord channel on our Patreon page because one of our listeners posted the naked dick shot of Jessie's flopping, and it was, I've been looking at it so much, and I'm not one to look at, like, I'll look at our, we do our thirst trap every week, and I glance at those, and I think because we're so used to seeing porn stars naked and
we
hard
have one
dicks
ourselves.
that
I could just look down. And it's the same thing as me looking at that picture, I think.
Was it that he was straight? Was it that it was leaked out? There's been a lot of leakages lately, by the way. The Supreme Court, now Jessie Williams. I mean, what's going on with the world? But I mean, it's a eye full, and I've been kind of obsessed with him. He's so beautiful. He's totally my type too. I mean, totally my type of guy. He's probably everyone's type. I don't know who I'm kidding.
Would not love Jessie Williams. He's a gorgeous man. When they put it in the Discord chat, I have to admit, I was all about it. I think I even commented that I was like a kid on Christmas, basically. I was enthralled by the video clip. But after Second Stage released their statement, the theater where Take Me Out is being hosted at, about it being akin to sexual harassment, I had to kind of rethink things and see.
Well, I think they got that wrong, though, because I don't think it's sexual harassment. I just think it's an infringement type of. I'm not a lawyer by any means. It's a violation, perhaps, because the one thing we should let people know that, again, if you don't know the story, if you go into Take Me Out, you go into the Broadway show, and because of that nudity, and it's not just him, it's other, I think it's other characters on stage, they have asked, because they didn't want it to leak, even though it got leaked anyway, because today what they did is they took everyone's phone and you put it in a sleeve. I know this because when I went to Madonna's Madam X tour, it was the same thing, and you check in your phone when you go in and you put it in the sleeve, they lock it, it's very safe, but they keep it. They lock it and they keep it. You get it back at the end of the show, and it's totally fine. Everything's good. Actually, I think you hold it. You just can't have access to it. It's totally locked, and they unlock it when you come out. I imagine this is the same situation because they don't want. But like Madam X, Take Me Out, there is video of people find ways. There's small cameras these days. There's cameras the size of an eraser that still find their way in. People probably put it in their crotch. A burner
Imagine
phone.
the irony of
who
them
knows
putting
what
the camera in their crotch. I just have to say, like,
yeah, it was probably that person. Yeah, exactly. And so it
Yeah.
still got leaked out. So I don't even know why they bother anymore with that whole rigmarole of locking up the phone, because they know, I mean, all they had to do was look at Madonna's Madam X tour, and it got leaked like the first weekend she went on tour. So all the stuff went out there. I mean, I get it why artists do this, but it's, we live in an age now. The good news, unlike what you
Yeah.
were alluding to, is that Jessie Williams was like,
Yeah.
it's just a body. I'm, you know, Andy Cohen had a funny thing to say. He's like, do you think you would be saying that, like, oh, well, it's just a body, it's my work, if you weren't as proud or happy with what you got
It's
going
something to be
down
proud of for
there?
sure. And I can see that. I can see that he probably is very secure in in his physique. And not only
He
that,
should be.
what we all saw, but the penis, the clinical term, but also his physique is beautiful as well. So he should be very proud. And I'm going to do my best not to I'm going to do my best not to sexualize or try and harp on it.
I mean, I think he's
I think
probably
so
totally
too.
cool with it. It's why are we so obsessed? Why is the world so obsessed with it? Because particularly
Mhm.
us, Cody, not
I
us,
mean,
but our gay men watching it, because we, like I said, have access to porn. We're about to do a little later in the show our thirst trap that we do every single week
mhm.
by straight up gay porn. And we see dick ass all in front of us. Why is it that we are so like hot and bothered by Jesse Williams? Is it the that we
I
didn't
think that's
expect
it.
that?
I
We
think
got
it's
something that
because we didn't know that it would be leaked.
he was packing.
Oh, I could tell. Have you seen Grey's Anatomy? And those scrubs don't hide a lot.
I have not, but
But I
no.
think that it's because it's a high profile actor, and I think it is the fact that we would have never thought that we would have seen something like that from Jesse Williams, because he seems like he's such a above board type of guy. Like, I know who I can expect a dick pic leak from, and Jesse Williams is not on that list.
And the funny thing is, apparently he was talking about it and saying had many reservations. He had to check in with God about even doing this, because it is a bit. I remember when I was in a very small production in Los Angeles, and one of the characters was going to be, it was
Mhm.
a gay play. So,
Yep.
of course, there was nudity in it. And one of the characters, I had my shirt off, which was one thing, but one of the characters ran around
Mhm.
naked in the play. I don't think it had anything to do with the play, by the way. It was just gratuitous, of course. And it wasn't the greatest play, but I had a lot of fun. It was my first like LA
Oh.
stage play. And I remember, the guy didn't have many reservations doing it, but people were definitely talking about the size of it. And I mean, I think Jesse has said that he had to think about it because, like, was it integral to the
Mhm.
part he was playing? And it is. It works with what's going on. If you see the play, I know the scene myself because I saw it. It is integral to what's going on, and it works. But I think as an actor, you just have to, go on, and he
Yeah.
looks so great that, but it is a whole thing to be naked in front of a lot of people. We talked about it on the show before, going even to the naked beach, when I was telling the story when I walked down, and you have to get it together, like, am I going to worry about my junk, how's it positioned, or am I just going to go with it, how do I look? It's a lot to just worry
Oh
about your
yeah.
body in general, and to let that go when you're at, are you beach
Or
body
are you
ready in
going
your
to get
mind,
aroused?
much less is my junk. Yeah,
Yeah.
or that. Yeah, good
But
point.
I agree with you. So I think that he did a lot of soul searching, and I'm happy that he did. I for many reasons. I think that this will only impact the play in a positive way, because I looked at tickets already. I don't know, and they're
Tickets
about to
are
get. I think they're about to
expensive.
go through the roof. So
Yeah. What are people saying? Because I realized we have
Yes.
a new chat area that I didn't see. And yeah,
Calidad
go with that
says
and then we'll move
he
on.
totally gets what you're saying. Women are going gaga about this beautiful man with the gorgeous penis with a capital P. Women are going gaga. The fights will be multi-gender. And Blake says Jesse's hot AF. Yes. Oh,
Yes,
for
he
sure.
really is.
So I'm glad that he's okay with it and he doesn't feel like he was exposed inappropriately. That's the bottom line.
I mean, he probably, yeah, I'm sure he checked, but then he looks like this gorgeous specimen
I
too,
mean,
so he
it's
has
like looking in
nothing
a
to worry
mirror though
about.
for
And
me.
if
So I don't
anything,
know.
yeah, and the funny
I was
though
like,
is
you
it.
didn't even catch that.
Hmm. I mean, yeah, no. If you're comfortable with how you are down there, I am comfortable down there too.
Yeah.
I just am comfortable. What that doesn't mean anything. I'm not saying anything. I just am comfortable with how I am down below the belt, and so I would be comfortable with that as well. But I would also be working my butt off,
Oh
like
yeah.
for the rest of my body too. So I probably wouldn't be if it worked with the character, and tickets are through the roof right now. People are, of course, going, like, you look for tickets. People there, it's
Oh, for
gonna only
sure.
help him in the long run. It's nothing bad. And unlike we let's
Okay.
do a follow-up story. There's an actor that goes by the name of Garrett
Uh-huh.
Clayton. You might know
I'm familiar with
him.
him.
Do you
I
know
saw him in
him,
King Cobra.
Cody? Did you watch King Cobra?
I did. It was
Is
good.
it? So who does
He
he
was actually
play?
really, really good. He plays. It's about Brent Corrigan, and it's adult film star Brent Corrigan,
Okay.
and it's about his coming up when Brent Corrigan first started doing porn. He wasn't of legal age, and it's about how he got seduced into doing porn.
Garrett Clayton doesn't want to be pigeonholed as the hot guy who walks on stage for a couple of lines, shows his butt off, and everyone calls him a slut, as he told Queerty recently in an interview. Quote, I've worked really hard to have a well-rounded resume right now. I have to hold strong in the kind of performer I want to be and respectfully say that I don't want to keep doing the same thing. Clayton's fear as being viewed as a slut, perhaps in part, stems from an on-set experience he had while filming King Cobra.
Mm-hmm.
Quote, I was challenging myself mentally, saying, this is a character, this isn't me. By the way, he's gay, just in real life, just to get
Yes.
that out of the way. Jessie Williams is not. There's a
Yes.
parallel we'll make a little bit in a minute. He writes, it's okay. It felt very vulnerable to be pretty much nude and insinuate sexual acts with basic strangers, he explained. Most of them were respectful, but some of them really got to me. At one point during a shoot, I was on the couch with two men on either side of me, and they started making jokes about what a slut I was. They're like, this isn't his first time. I felt like they were talking through me. It really
Mm.
got to me. I ended up leaving the room. They just wouldn't stop saying such nasty, horrible things right through me as if I wasn't sitting right there. Uh,
Wow.
In contrast, Cody, to what the one thing I think that Jessie Williams is that everything was very professional and they've taken
Mm-hmm.
every precaution. They
Yep.
are on a Broadway stage about, you know, you would think in a film, but this may have been a small budget film. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how it got so
Well,
unprofessional. Go ahead.
James Franco is in it
Okay,
as
then I
well,
did see this movie, and we
and
all know that
Christian Slater.
lascivious Jake. I did see this movie. Now I know
So
I did see this movie. Okay, it's kind of a creepy film, and
you
I
think
know
so? I
it.
mean, the whole
I'm just not
storyline
a
is
fan
is
of
kind of
James
creepy.
Franco for
Oh,
many
really?
no, for many reasons, because he's been caught up in so many controversies. We could go on and
Mm-hmm.
on and on. When we used to cover the Tribeca Film Festival for another production company I worked for, there was a film, The Adderall Diaries, that he
Okay.
produced that was not accurate because it was based on a real life New York Times editor. and that editor said, "This is bullshit. It's nothing." And I was like, "Fucking James Franco." And
Oh
all
my
his time doing
goodness.
General Hospital, because he
She
wanted
was on
to
General Hospital?
go back and teach actors. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, you got to
What?
teach actors and or whatever." And then he was teaching acting, and he was accused of misconduct with students. And then
Oh
he
my
did
goodness.
gay films, like a gay documentary out there that's within our community that was seemingly playing with our community. There's too much crap with him that I can't stand him.
Oh wow. You have
No.
really
Oh,
strong
there's
feelings
a
about James
ton. I just
Franco.
listed so many things.
I was like counting. That was 5 already. I was
I should probably write an article why we shouldn't like James Franco, and
okay.
list the reason.
I'm
Let everybody
down.
decide for themselves.
I want to read it.
All right, I'll
You
start
do
working
it.
on it.
Write that op-ed.
I will. But tell us.
But back to Blake. I mean Garrett Clayton, being called a slut on set. I think that it's a shame because at the end of the day, Garrett was just doing his job. We all we talk about a lot on this show about how sex workers should be legitimized and feel like they deserve respect for what they do, even like their job doesn't mean that they don't deserve respect as human beings. So that this didn't extend to Garrett. He was being called a slut, made to feel less than while he was on set. I think it's horrible. So I think that he should really just, button down and speak up for himself next time.
This movie, I remember, was kind of an indie film. The thing about it, though, that strikes me is who was running the show that let this kind of conversation happen. I think that he maybe wasn't a big enough actor when he made this movie to feel he had enough confidence to come out and say, "Hey, we are in a professional setting.
Mhm.
Why are you talking like this?" Because we all hear about actors talking about sex scenes and how mechanical they are and how produced they are.
Exactly.
Where was it? Why was this okay? And why didn't he feel like he could go to, I don't know, somebody, his director, and say, I don't know, but why was this okay to this conversation to be happening?
And I think this is before they actually have people on set to administer those sex scenes. So I think that maybe this is one of the reasons, all the things that go on set, why they actually have people on set to make sure that everything is above board and nothing is getting too outlandish when these sex scenes are being simulated. Say that 3
It's
times fast.
sex scenes being simulated. Yeah, it's hard. I know, but it sounds like he needs to work out some of the stuff, because if he's now just barely this movie came out a while ago, and if he's still talking about sort of the trauma and how he
Yeah.
really wants to distance himself from playing any character. We talk so much on the show. You're not a big fan, Kodi, of having straight characters like a Jessie Williams play gay,
Okay.
but unless they show their dick, apparently.
No, that's
Then
not
you're
it.
okay with it.
I
Then
was
you're
gonna let you
okay
finish
with
your
it.
statement, but I think that the reason that I have a problem with straight people playing gay is because it limits or it kind of excludes gay people or people from the LGBTQ culture from playing parts in general. If gay people and people from our community are being given parts, I don't have a problem with it, as long as they're doing justice and not being like what you say James Franco is allegedly doing and making fun of our community.
Not making fun, probably not.
Okay.
But just, I'll find the right word, that
Okay.
he's had, to me, exploited stories in the
Yeah.
past, not
As
just
long as they're not
gay,
doing that.
but I mean, he's been accused of having a relationship with students when he decided to become a professor of
Mhm.
acting. And so these are major allegations that are out there.
Oh, for
I'm not,
sure.
yeah, these are out there. But in terms of this guy, I think he should do some, he's doing these interviews talking about how, that was such a horrible experience. He is a gay actor and
But he
doesn't want
wasn't
to.
out when he was making this film or when it came out even. He came out
Yeah,
after.
but he's in this interview still talking about how he doesn't want to play any of those types of roles anymore, where
Yeah.
it would be sexualized, which is fair. But then, so what do you say to that, Kodi, when if a gay actor doesn't want to play, and what if a straight actor that's willing to play gay and play one of these roles that's very hypersexualized, are you going to be like, no, because maybe some of the gay actors these days are like want to distance themselves from
I
appearing?
I think that as long as gay actors are getting jobs and making sure that our stories are being told with respect, then I don't have a problem with it.
Let's move on though, because there's a brand new show coming out. I know you're really excited about
I'm
it.
so excited.
There is a brand new show on out.tv called Gogo for the Gold. It's a competition series,
Ooh.
and it's going to be a lot like from the previews. I will post this on TAGSPodcast.com, the trailer for it. It reminds me a lot of RuPaul's Drag Race. Like they
Yeah.
kind of took the blueprint, if you will, for RuPaul's Drag Race and put it on go-go dancers. How many contestants are there vying for this? I believe I don't have that story up, but there's about 12. Is it 12 go-go dancers, Kodi?
I'm looking it up right now.
Okay. It's a new reality competition series where they write and think drag race, but instead of wigs and gowns, they're wearing G-strings and harnesses on outtv.com, coming out later this week. And one of the Go-Go Boys will snatch the crown in none other than a multi straight up award. They'll get to win. There's going to be judges. One of the contestants I'm really excited for is Greg McKeon, because Greg McKeon, if you remember a while back, I had, when we were starting our live streaming, before we started this show, we had a intermittent show, Kodi, if you remember, called
I do.
It was called Sex with Stevie.
Oh,
I
he
think
was on Sex with Stevie?
he called in. Yeah, this was a fun show that we
Aw.
did way back when.
Me
In
too.
that interim show, I remember Greg McKeon called in to talk about his OnlyFans and what it takes to create and sustain a successful OnlyFans. And he had he was really awesome on the show. He was self-deprecating. He talked about his boyfriend. He talked about just what it takes to make great content. And so I'm voting for him. But what's your favorite things
Yeah.
about this competition that you see in the trailer that you're going to want to watch?
I think Greg McKeon is a judge. I don't think he's a contestant. There are 12 contestants.
12. Okay. Oh, is
Yes.
he a judge?
I think he's a judge, yeah.
Oh, did I say that like I was from Britain?
You got your Madonna voice on again.
I love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. I can't wait for this show, basically. I'm familiar with a lot of the go-go performers, from church. We all go to church together.
Of course.
And the host, Johnny McGovern, I know him from Hey Queen TV, rest in peace, Lady Red. And this show looks really entertaining. And I already have my favorites, Ken XY. He's beautiful. Agama Baez, beautiful. I cannot wait for this show to come out. And there looks like there's going to be drama. And I can tell you T, because I did my internet snooping and I kind of figured out some tea that could possibly go on and some drama that could possibly.
Let's do a watch party.
Okay.
As a former go-go dancer in the 90s, y'all, I can attest to definitely drama, and we put on shows like not just go-go dancing, but I remember, and as a good go-go, the thing is we'll do a whole segment on this sometime, but to really make a good living out of it at the time, you had to work various clubs, and every club or bar had a different criteria of what you were doing. So there was the club experience where you had to get on these like 6-foot high boxes that were like gargantuan, that you had to like climb from a ladder, and it was this whole thing, and you couldn't get tipped. And then there was like the strip pole ones where you would like show it and be working the crowd and get a lot of money. And then there was ones where we put on
Oh.
shows, like choreographed shows, like the candle wax dance, which was really
Oh.
hot and sexy.
I gotta see. You could go for the gold.
I'm not doing that. This is my old, but I do think there was a period in go-go dancing where it went down, like nobody cared about it. And then the last several, I don't know, 7 to 8 years, I'm making this number up, we've embraced it in all its glory. And I'm
Yeah.
here for it. One of the things I like, Kodi, about the trailer is that it's putting them in a competition and it's different body types and sizes.
Yeah. And
And
colors.
so what did you think about that?
I love that. And I love that there's so much diversity in this cast. It's just making me love how inclusive and celebratory of all bodies. And I think that I think it's so great. Shows like this, shows like Lizzo's Watch Out for the Big Girls and Hot House, which is also on, I watch all the shows, which is also on Out TV. I just love the body inclusivity and the inclusivity I can say it.
Inclusivity.
Inclusivity of all colors. I love that.
Oh.
Blake says, now we got to figure out how to watch Out TV. If you come to Steve's house, we can watch it. I'm inviting people over your house already.
Does Blake live in New York?
I don't think so. I think he lives in Canada. I don't want to say where he lives.
I forgot where he said. Yeah, let's not like out our listener here.
I almost said
Atlanta. Blake lives in Atlanta.
He also says that, yes, Greg McKeon is a judge, along with JoJo Guads and Teddy Bear and maybe one other. And El Rey's mother is watching the show with him. And she says she laughed when I said I met them at church. We all go to the same church. She said, "What church does Kodi go to?"
I love
Mom,
it. Oh,
we can all go together if you want to.
Hi, Mom. Happy belated Mother's Day to you.
That's right. Happy belated Mother's Day.
Yeah. Hey, boys. New year, and that means new sex rules. Start the year off right by manifesting a sex-positive 2022. Your buddies over here at Tags have got you covered in helping you achieve your sex conundrums and relationship queries. Ask Tags for advice. We love giving our thoughtful outlooks to our friends, you. So DM us at TAGSPodcast on Instagram or email us at TAGSPodcast.com. Let's make this year a sexually positive 2022. Weddings are a big thing right now. Obviously, everybody and their grandmother, if you put it off because of the pandemic, not that we're clearly out of it, but everybody seems to be planning a wedding in 2022, and the gays are no different. What's his last name?
Jonathan Bennett.
You reported Jonathan Bennett. I said Benet, but it's Jonathan Bennett.
I mean, it's just your Madonna coming out again.
Had a very People magazine reported on it and showed their lovely wedding that seems more classic when you say Kodi.
Oh, yeah.
With tuxedos. Of course, they had a lot of looks. I'm going to a wedding later this year. In Mexico, and my friend who I went to college with, is the requirement is that you have to wear white.
I love that.
So it's an all white wedding. Yeah, but I was like, oh, so do you think that we could wear, because I wanted to wear like a fun printed top and like white pants. And he's like, no, bitch, you're wearing all white. It's like mandatory.
This is my wedding.
And I was like,
the dress code is
okay. And I'm like, what are you wearing? He's like, I'm figuring it out, but you will wear white. And he says that is their gift to them, because these guys have been together 26 years. So I'm like, for not having to spring for a gift, I will gladly go on Etsy and get a really cool white outfit. I'm thinking, yeah, we'll do that.
What are you thinking? I want to know.
I'm thinking kind of a yoga, drop crotch, India inspired look. We'll see.
I love it. You know what would be dope?
Like that.
If the grooms came out in gold and it was a white and gold wedding.
White and cold, people. I mean, yeah, that could be. But what do you think about these themes? Because people are kind of going over the top with their weddings and these days. Frankie Grande, we all know Ariana Grande's brother, just got married.
Congratulations.
According to
Hmm.
congratulations, because
Yeah, winner,
he's
baby.
got glitter on his eyes and all. Um, he looks really good in the pictures. He's got like white and he had the couple wore one of a kind Dolce and Gabbana tuxedos.
Ooh.
They looked great in it, but it was a Star Wars theme. So in the pictures, for whatever
Star
reason,
Wars?
apparently Frankie Grundy is a huge Star Wars fan, and in the back you got stormtroopers and Chewbacca, and you got an actress playing Princess Leia who looks like she wishes she looked like that. The real actress. There's a Darth Vader.
Shade.
I mean, do you think that like theme weddings are going to be the new thing? And are you here for it, Kodi?
I am here for any celebration of love, as long as the two people that are celebrating and the people that come are all celebrating and making sure that they are honoring the love between these two people. I'm here for it. I'm any which way, up, down, sideways, Star Trek, Star Wars,
I mean, I guess I'm here for it because at least
Harry
their
Potter.
looks aren't Star Wars out. So when they look at these pictures down the road, at least they can look at pictures of themselves in their Dolce and Gabbana
Yes.
tuxedos, and it'll be that. The other accessory, which is extra, I think, are they really going to be into that later on? Probably, I guess. You'd have to,
Ooh.
I don't know. Is your
I'm getting
current
ideas
boyfriend
already.
totally into comics like you
No, he's
are?
not.
Because
he would murder me.
but he goes to all the movies with
Yeah,
you.
but he would murder me if I even dreamed of saying let's have a Marvel movie wedding. He would not be down for that. Where I personally am a more, simple, traditional type of person when it comes to weddings and things of that nature. I could definitely, what we discussed in the pre-production meeting, I could definitely see having like a drag race themed bachelor party.
Oh, bachelor party. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. With a lot of white claw, I'm imagining, flowing from the rafters. Because you always have it on hand.
You coming, so I think you need to get ready, okay? Don't.
Oh no. Yeah, right. To me, I'm gonna just put it out there. Leave the themes for the bachelor
Okay.
party. And how fun would it be to do separate bachelor parties and document them? Because they're gonna be crazy. Two guys and one set of bachelor party and another one. And where would you do yours? Because Vegas? No.
Palm Spring, probably. Palm Springs, for sure.
I might do Puerto Vallarta just because it's always a party there.
That is lovely.
I mean, but I might want to get married there too, so I might need to
have both there.
I don't know.
Why not?
I don't even have a guy. It's
We're
so funny.
planning out your wedding.
El Ray, who's watching us live, asked, do I have a date to this wedding? I actually do have a date. Thank you very much. It's my sister who bought a place there, and she's going to be my date for the evening. But I do hear that, because my friend, he said there's a guy that's going to the wedding that's single at the wedding that is like a Jessie Williams, is built like a Jessie Williams, if you know what I mean.
Can you have a +3?
But I gotta find out who this guy is in advance. And I was wondering, should I ask my friend in advance? Should I DM my friend and be like, or ask my friend, should I DM this guy? Like, hey, I heard you're going to be at the wedding. Or just have him point him out at the wedding? Am I being a little too thirsty?
You should follow him on Instagram and like some of his pictures.
Stalk him.
You have to go for what you want in life, Steve.
Okay, life coach, I will. So I'm going to reach out to, I think that's what I should do, because he told me we had a reunion weekend recently. He came here and he was telling me telling me to wear white and how strict that rule was. And then he said, oh, you'll like one of my friends. He's built like Jessie Williams. I'm just going to say that. I'm like, oh, really? And so, but I need to get his info and maybe slide into his DMs and be like, hey, I heard you're going to be at our mutual friend's
There's a way to
wedding.
do it.
So am
There's a way to do it
I.
to where it's not creepy. You can definitely say that
Like I said, I heard you're going to be at our mutual
you can
friend's
follow
wedding.
him in like
So
some of
am
his
I.
pictures, and then when you're there, you can try to connect. I think it's a little bit.
But I think I should say
I don't
something
know.
that we're both good. That's
I
creepy.
think it is. I think I hear you're going to be at the wedding. That sounds like a it sounds like a setup,
Yeah.
and I would be like, "How you know?
Ah.
How you know where I'm going to be? You don't know my life." That's what I would say to you.
I think this guy knows what he puts out there,
Oh,
and he's one of those, and it's just going to be
so if you can send
fun.
me his
So,
Instagram, I would appreciate that. Thank you very much. One more thing though.
um,
You know what I
yeah.
just thought of? That would be a great
What?
theme for a wedding, royalty. And yes.
Oh,
And you can do all types of royalty. And you don't have to necessarily stick to the Queen of England, or you can just do all forms and fashions of royalty. And that's a good theme to have because it's contemporary enough.
see, I don't like all this theatrics. To me, it's just over the top. One of the things he was showing me was, oh, one of the big trends right now is doing these, for the first
Mhm.
dance. And a lot of guys aren't always so comfortable. I was showing him my friend who was doing a very clumsy dance with his husband in P Town. And it was just like, I mean, but it was cute, right? Now the trend apparently is doing choreographed dances with your partner. So he showed me these two guys that acted like they were going for their first dance, and one of them acted like he had two left feet, and all of a sudden the music went and choreographed music went on, and they were like boom boom hitting it and like doing this whole like 3-song choreographed moment that they were in rehearsals for weeks, and the crowd was going ballistic over it. Would you be into that's cute.
I
I
could do that.
think it's a
And
lot of
I could
work.
break it down.
Can Joe learn choreography too and get into it?
I could work it out for him. I could teach him a nice
Could you learn the choreography?
I am a very good dancer, I'll have you know. I can bust it down.
I bet you
Graciano.
are. Yeah, okay.
Let's do the Reddit thread. I think that's cute.
Okay. It's not that cute, but it's at least it's a long one. I'm gonna let you read it though,
I
Kodi.
should have saw that coming. I love you, Steve. Is he busy or he doesn't care at all? This is a Reddit thread, guys. So we're gonna weigh in and we're gonna give our opinions. So for 6 months, I am in a long distance relationship with a guy. Recently, I have very mixed feelings about him. A month ago, we had 2 weeks in our relationship, but he didn't get back to me and fought for but he get but he tried to get back with him and fought for him, so I dedicated to give him another chance. He dedicated to, yes, to give him another chance. But yet again, I feel very wrong about how he treats me. We broke up basically because he didn't have time for this other guy, and the guy says he was too needy. Now, they're in a long distance relationship, and in the beginning, they all were always communicating. And but now he's not as communicative, and he wants to know if he's too needy or he puts too much pressure on his partner and what is going on. But every time he asks his partner, he feels mistreated, and he feels like his partner doesn't care at all. He says, "Please help me. Do I overreact? What should I do next time when this happens again?" And he apologizes for his English because I guess English isn't his first language.
Right. It's a guy who's clearly in a long distance relationship and wondering if this is
Yeah.
sustainable,
Yep.
essentially, right? Some people wrote, I'll just read you a couple of them and then we'll discuss. One of them wrote, my opinion may be a little biased, but because I don't think I could handle a long distance relationship, but I think you're definitely a little too needy for one. he probably feels less inclined to message back because you nag him every other day about how he doesn't pay attention to you.
That's not right.
Interesting choice of words. Yeah. If so, yeah. Somebody else wrote, I think a long distance isn't going to work for you. Your needs require more personal touch that being long distance just won't work. That was a more
It is.
diplomatic
Oh,
way, I
yes.
think, of saying what the other person essentially said too. People had other ways. I've been in a long distance relationship before. The one thing that I'll never forget, it was a guy that I dated for a few months, and excuse me, that was my phone, my mother calling me. And it was a guy that I dated for a few months that kind of reminded me of back to
I was
Jessie
going to say,
Williams.
you are.
I was mixed race like that. And he just, oh, yeah. And we met on a set once, but he was really into astrology and said that there is a chemical pheronon that we all emit that has to be attended to, because so he later then dated a choreographer, and the choreographer would go off to choreograph for really big artists, and their rule of thumb was they could not be away more than 2 weeks or 10 days, I think it was, because there was something with our chemistry that even with FaceTime, even with talking on the phone, you lose that pheronon and that chemical reaction that you have with someone. So, for example, if you and I, Kodi, for the sake of this conversation, only ever did this show and we were in a relationship, and I'm like, well, I kind of see Kodi every week on this show, so I'm good, right? And for whatever reason we couldn't get together. No, it's not enough just to see you in the screen. We need to, after a certain amount of time, he was into Kabbalah too, and he said after a period of time we lose that connection that you initially established with that person, and that you're in danger of losing that person. So to me, long distance relationships, unless you can really commit to seeing each other every 10 days, every 2 weeks, is a losing battle for the most part.
I hear what you're saying.
What are your thoughts on that?
I can attest to it there being an in-person electricity to when two people are together. So I can definitely see your point when you say that, because when you use the example of us doing the show together, I feel like when we're in the room together, there is an unspoken kind of electricity, even though I feel like it's here as well. But
I'm feeling it now.
I'm sending it.
I don't know what dance I'm doing.
You're doing my wedding dance. Okay. I feel so I can definitely get that sense of you needing to smell my pheromones. I definitely can. I understand that 100%.
Be careful. I want to smell something, but I'm into certain smells, but not into all of your smells in this hypothetical relationship.
I think that with long distance relationships, you have to be very careful because it takes a lot more work. I feel like it takes way more work, at least 3 times more work than when you're in the same city or even within the same vicinity of one another. It takes a lot more communication, number one. So, and I feel like his partner isn't willing to give him the sense of communication that he actually needs to feel secure in a relationship. The relationship that I'm in right now, I have to bring it back to.
You're too close.
I understand what he's saying, because when I go, so sometimes we go to New Jersey together to visit our mothers or our families, and that time apart, I definitely miss him, and I get a sense of losing that connectivity that you talk of, that you speak of.
And that's
it's
only like a couple days.
So if we weren't constantly on the phone talking to one another and constantly on the FaceTiming one another, because that's what we do when we're apart, then I feel like we would totally not have that connection when we reconnected again.
Yeah, I think healthy distance apart from each other is good at times, of course.
Like he went to work today and I was living my best life.
Oh, is this what it's like when you go to work?
I was twirling.
Were
I
you
took
twirling around
some.
that apartment of yours? I love it. Yeah, I mean,
It
yeah,
was
I think
great.
healthy
It was fun.
distance during the week, or maybe going to visit friends, family, having you've come over here and we've had kikied and had fun and all that is good.
Yeah.
But to it's really a lot of work, I think, for a long distance relationship. And I don't know that this guy is really needy. I just think it's really challenging to maintain a long distance relationship. It's just
Yeah.
not always so sustainable. And the other thing is life changes. Financial, like we're living currently in inflation right now, where plane tickets are, I just saw, up 33%. So if I'm
Oh
seeing
my goodness. It's
somebody in
crazy.
California, which I have been in the past, that
Hmm.
flight, that round trip flight is up 33%, which is already expensive to begin with. And now I've got to plan that into my budgeting, which is now stressful because I didn't plan on that. And it's now because this relationship has become more of a stress based antidote in my life now, that
Hmm.
it just becomes, and it's that much more easy to either A, not be honest and get lost in your life at home, and let that go a little bit, or something's gonna be amiss in the end result.
Yeah. I think it can be sustainable, but I don't think it's sustainable in this situation. The kids are all saying everything.
Ah,
I love that. El Rey started off by saying, "My mama said, let that shit go."
when mama speaks, you listen.
I love
I
his mother. I
know.
put
Can we
that in the
meet
chat too.
her? We want to meet you too, El Rey.
She and then Calidad says, doesn't seem like a viable relationship. Guys tend to be different online than they are in real life. And
Oh.
wow. Okay. And then El Rey says again, not hearing from a guy in 2 weeks is called a hookup.
Ooh, the
There it
harsh
is.
reality of,
I
yeah.
know, right? They put it all out there. I was trying to be nice a little bit.
Straight Up
I'll do
Gay
it again.
Porn, which we're a fan of, does a recap of some of the best gay porn stars who took the best photo or videos of the week. And this week they asked the question, who took the best out of 20 gay porn stars? 20. Sometimes it's
It
only,
was so
that's like a
many.
lot. Yeah.
It was a lot. It was overload.
Yeah, and our
Thirst
job is
overload.
to descriptively describe why on this, what turns out to be an audio podcast when this comes out, and why we like it. I'm just going to go full throttle. There was a lot of them out of 20. I'm just going to go with a guy who's been on our show before when we
We
did.
picked the same
Oh,
one.
stop it. Boomer Banks gets my vote for speaking. He makes Jessie Williams. I mean, talk about take me out. He could take me out with this dick. It
Woo!
is semi erect, semi hard, which is kind of, he is uncut. So you see the skin and the veins and all of that in the bush. It's so perfect. He's got, I don't know what his tattoo says, but it's right above, below his belly button, right above the bush, and it's perfectly
Mhm.
placed. He's looking like a badass in a bathroom with these really metallic looking electric sunglasses and like a mohawk. I mean, he looks really badass in this picture, right?
Yes.
He was at
He
a,
looked
he
dangerous.
looks dangerous.
I love it. I'm all here
It's
for it.
sci-fi at
Trade.
its best. He's got a Blade Runner. It's giving me Blade Runner. It looks like he was at an event of some sort or something, because the outfit is fierce, but the dick is juicy and dripping and luscious, thick and plump, and he looks just delicious. Well, who is yours, Cody?
I picked Boomer too. I don't it's such a good it's such a good picture. And I just want to tell you my fantasy for it. Are you ready for my
I
fantasy?
am.
Because for me, it's the fact that someone could walk in at any minute and kind of discover him with his huge, beautiful cock out.
Oh.
And so for me, he's in the gym and he's all hot and worked up from his workout. And he just decides to go jack off in the bathroom stall. But before he does, he wants to immortalize the moment by taking a selfie of his beautiful semi-erect cock. And he has a stall door open and for the world to see, because he's not ashamed and he wants everybody to know how hot and sexual and sexy he is.
Can we just talk about the fashion though? You know, a lot of people don't know is
It's
he's
good.
a designer as well, and he loves fashion too. So he's giving me fashion, and it's just amazing. I really love it. He's giving. What are people saying? Because you know, a lot of people. I'm looking at who's winning now that you can look at this. He's not even. He's doing well, Boomer Banks, but the one that's doing
Mhm.
really well is Josh Brady at 469 votes, with a far cry at 268 of Logan Stevens.
Logan Stevens is Blake's pick.
Okay. Oh, okay. So he's coming in number 2 currently. You better vote for him, Blake. Why does he like him?
And El Rey picks Chao Vera. And Logan Stevens is
Yeah.
outside, and it looks like he's working on a fence, and he just decided to take out his uncut cock while he's working on the fence.
All right. Well, we want to thank everybody for playing along so much. This does come out Thursday, and show notes are out there as well. You can follow Kodi at Mr. Maurice. Forgot to put that up there,
Boom, I did it.
Kodi.
Ew.
And follow us at TAGSPodcast on all social media. And in the meantime, continue having hot gay sex.